What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out my battles, and I'm getting close to legend, everyone. We are now in the 2900s, and as you can see, we're using a really unique team there: Lanturn, Shadow Machamp, and Drifblim. Now I will say, Lanturn on the lead has done very well for me in the 28 to 2900 range because I see a lot of Mandibuzz, Jellicent, Dugong leads, which is why Lanturn does so well. So this team may not work for you based on where you're at if you're seeing different Pokemon, which is why I said there's different ELO metas, but this works for me at the 2900s, which is why I used it today. Did really well, went 17 and 8, which is always very nice. Really solid sets, climbed up a lot of rating this morning. We're getting very close. So let me know what you guys think about this team and these battles, and let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, getting into this first battle here, we have Lanturn on the lead versus Registeel. Not too bad of a matchup right here, but I definitely don't want to stay in this. I'm thinking there might be a potential flyer in the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay and let this Focus Blast hit us. We're going to go for that Hydro Pump, and then I'm going to look to try to catch the charge move, the Focus Blast, on Drifblim right there. So we're going to go ahead and go for Hydro Pump now. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage, and like I said, gonna try to time the catch right here. Hopefully we can. Now, we land the Hydro Pump, which is great. We're going to go ahead and load up, and then I'm going to go for the Field Catch, and we don't get it. So they're going to go ahead and swap out with Loaded Energy. Now, we have a Frostlass that comes in. So what we're going to do is obviously build up the Shadow Ball to make sure we threaten the shields because they know we do have a Shadow Ball, but we're going to throw the Icy Wind right here. This does get a shield. That is fantastic. So now we're in a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 shield right here, but it's going to be 1-to-1 because I will be shielding the Avalanche. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right here because I either want to win switch, which is very positive for us, or get shield advantage because if there is like a Mandibuzz in the back, Shadow Machamp can handle that as well with a 1-to-0 shield. So we'll probably see the Registeel come back in. We do land that Shadow Ball, which is nice. I forgot to boom, but that's okay. Charge Me Now coming through. It's going to be Flash Scan. We're going to let this go. We can easily bring in that Shadow Machamp right here and look to farm down. So we're going to go ahead and bring it in, and they are going to swap into their own Shadow Machamp. Now I decide to stay into this matchup because firstly, I'm ahead on energy, which means I can get to 2 cross chops in time, which is gonna be nice. The first one will obviously get the shield, and then we should be able to get to the second one in time, barely with just 1 HP in a dream right there. This is going to be taking out the Machamp. We still have Lanturn with a shield, with energy, and we will see them go ahead and surrender, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. So that mid-game definitely helped us out, getting the shield bait with Icy Wind and then going straight for Shadow Ball. So now we got Lanturn versus Mandibuzz, and like I said, typically, as you guys know in a lot of my videos, most of the time I'm showing you guys lead losses because I want to show you guys how to take over a team that you lose lead. But the thing is, this morning, I had a lot of lead wins. I won lead a lot of the time, which doesn't usually happen when it comes to my teams. But Lanturn, because of the meta that I do see, like I said, Mandibuzz, Dugong, Jellicent, very common on the lead at the 28-2900 range, which is why I'm running with Lanturn right here. We're not going to shield any of these charge moves. It's perfectly fine with me, and I'm expecting them to swap out soon at some point right here, which they do decide to swap into Quagsire. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go for a Hydro Pump. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage because of that ground water typing, and then we're going to go straight in that Shadow Machamp. We land the Hydro Pump, which is beautiful. That means we can completely farm down right here, and we'll go ahead and safely shield, whether it's an Earthquake, Stone Edge, whatever it is, we're going to go ahead and shield it. It is going to be Stone Edge. And then we'll farm down. And what's great about Shadow Machamp in this meta is Mandibuzz is basically the flyer you're going to see the most. It can do really well against it. Remember, it's a dark flying typing, so it takes neutral from these counters and cross chops, which is always very nice. So we're going to go ahead and throw the cross chop. Gets a shield, so that means they're really weak to Machamp in the back, which I can easily take over this matchup right here by just going for another cross chop. If this gets the second shield, which it does, they are so weak to Machamp in the back, and we can fully farm down, and the last Pokemon is going to be Registeel. Perfectly fine. We can just go ahead and go for cross chops right here, and that is going to be a good game. So again, Lanturn doing very well on the lead. Shadow Machamp, because of all the Mandibuzz that are out there, can do really well, and Shadow Machamp just clearing through the whole team right here. It'll do that a lot with backlines that aren't like hard counters to fighters, which is always really nice. All right, moving into this next battle. Again, we're seeing a lot of lead wins today, unlike yesterday, which was lead losses. Now, Obstagoon isn't really a lead win unless we want it to be, But what I gotta understand is that Obstagoon and Nidoqueen are a very strong core together. So what I need is shield advantage with Drifblim and Machamp in order to kind of win that game out. Ideally Drifblim. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and go for Thunderbolt right here. This is gonna do a lot of neutral damage, and we can survive a couple Night Slashes, which is fine. We don't get a shield right there, but we should be able to get to this next Thunderbolt without having to give up a shield. And if we do get a shield from them, I'll look to try to fast swap and counter down, saving Lanturn for a potential third shield late game, or you know, like a sacrificial swap. So we're going to go ahead and go for this Thunderbolt. This will probably get the shield from our opponent, which it does. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Machamp and counter down before they can react. That's what's great about having a 4x weakness. If you have that fast move in the back, like we do with Shadow Machamp, it's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and build up to, I was hoping to get to the potential payback, but it wasn't enough. So we're going to go ahead and just throw the Rock Slide right here for a lot of neutral damage. And still, that's a Cresselia, and we were able to take 2/3 of its health right there, which is nice. We have 2 shields, like I said, for Drifblim, which is very ideal for us. We can easily come into this matchup. Now, because of confusion damage, we can't really try to commit to the hard farm down, so I will have the shield right here and look to go for an Icy Wind, because the confusions will really start to add up. So we're going to go ahead and overload just a little bit and then go ahead and throw the Icy Wind right here before we get to about 50% HP. Now, all depends on what they have in the back, but if Obstagoon was their only dark type, which they have another flyer in the back, we're looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and go for Icy Wind. It does super effective damage and will lower the attack. So things are looking very, very good for us. We do get a shield right there. And now we're just going to go ahead and go for this Shadow Ball. We will let this go. I think that was a bit quick for Shadow Ball, which it is going to be a Poison Fang, which is fine by me. So I'm going to go ahead and let that go. And then we're going to go for our Shadow Ball right here. And this is basically going to near one-shot the Golbat right here, which is going to be perfectly fine. We still have Lanturn, right, as a sacrificial swap. They decided to go for Charge Move. We're going to go ahead and let this go. Remember, we still got Lanturn. They have no Pokemon left. We can come in and just fast move down. And that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent right there. Okay, moving into this next battle, we have Lanturn on the lead versus Castform. Again, another lead win. Don't be surprised. Most of these are all going to be lead wins right here. And a lot of teams I've noticed are very weak to Lanturn. Look, they swapped into Mandibuzz, which means they may not have an answer for Lanturn, which is breaking apart a lot of cores here in the Remix Cup, which is really nice. We can go ahead and stay in this matchup right here. Again, foul plays aren't going to do too much damage. We can easily come out of this matchup with some loaded energy. Or Dark Pulse in this case isn't going to do too much. So we're going to go ahead and overload just a little bit and then throw the Thunderbolt right here, trying to force them to use a shield. Now, considering they had Castform on the lead and Mandibuzz in the back, they might have another answer for a fighter. Potentially maybe another Golbat like we saw before, maybe a Frostlass potentially. So we're going to go ahead and let this go. I have a feeling it's going to be a shield bait, which it is. It's just going to be a weather ball. We can go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt right here. They really can't farm us down before we get to another Thunderbolt because the water guns are going to be resisted and we land it. But their last Pokemon is going to be a Beedrill and we have Drifblim for that. And that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent. Again, Lanturn breaking apart a lot of cores in this meta, which is really nice. Okay, Dewgong on the lead, positive lead, as you guys know, and we do see a Nidoqueen come in, so we're going to go ahead and go straight into the Drifblim right here. This was obviously very quick, so I think it is just going to be a Poison Fang, but what I need to look out for is the potential Stone Edge, so we're going to go ahead and throw the Icy Wind. It's going to do super effective damage, lowering that attack, and it does a lot of that's a lot of damage. Now we're just going to commit to the farm down. I am concerned about a potential Stone Edge, so I will shield right here because I can definitely do a lot of damage back to that Dewgong with a Shadow Ball. So we'll just commit to the farm down. It was just going to be another Poison Fang, which is fine. And now we're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball versus that Dewgong. That is likely going to come back in and load up on energy. But that's what's great about Lanturn too, is Dewgong doesn't have an answer for it. It's going to be doing resisted damage with its Ice-type moves and its Water-type moves. So things are looking pretty good. We get the Shadow Ball, land it, which is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and swap into Lanturn. And they do have a Dragalge in the back, which is definitely tough. Now the reason why I did that swap is I thought there might be a potential fighter in the back, and I'd love to save Drifblim for that. But this is okay as well. We'll hopefully get to another Thunderbolt, which we do. We should be getting a shield at this point. If not, things are looking really good for Shadow Machamp. So we go ahead and land, or we get the shield right there, which is great. Now we're going to have to come back in with Drifblim. We're going to let this charge move go through. I'm guessing they might be going for Aqua Tail, which is not going to be enough, but is actually going to be a Gunk Shot, which is fine. That means all their energy is gone. So I can come in with Drifblim. I think I have enough health in order to get to an Icy Wind, which is definitely possible right here. So we do get to the Icy Wind. Remember, this is a Dragon Poison typing, so this will do super effective damage and lower that attack. So we do get the shield. We're going to go ahead and swap into Shadow Machamp and look to try to farm down. Now I am going to go ahead and shield this charge move, because this Aqua Tail is going to be the hardest hitting move left in the game. We do see a Dewgong come back in, and I'm going to commit to the farm down right here. I can survive an Icy Wind. It's going to hurt. This is going to be close, but I know Shadow Machamp can survive that, and now we can go for a Rock Slide for neutral damage here, because again, this is a Poison Dragon. Poison resist fighting type moves, so this Rock Slide will do neutral damage and take it out, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent right there. That's what's really nice about if you face Lapras or Dewgong leads. You have two answers for that, so you can kind of gauge how you need to address that. All right, Gallade on the lead. This is like, oh man, this is a core breaker for my team. So what I need to do right here is catch the charge move on Drifblim. That's the first thing I need to do, and I figure they're going to overload on energy, and I think they're not going to go at 3, which they've already gotten to 3. I think 4, so I'm going to go ahead and go on 5, and I'll swap, and I catch the charge move. So I know this is going to be resisted. It's going to be Close Combat or Leaf Blade, and it is going to be Leaf Blade, which is resisted. So that's good. We caught the move. Now they bring in a Melmetal, and I'm like, oh, dang. Try to get to that Icy Wind. I don't get to it. And I decide not to shield right here. I think this might have been a mistake. I could have potentially gotten a Shadow Ball off. So I'm going to go ahead and come in with Machamp. I'm going to have to really load up on energy. And I'm going to make another mistake right here, which you guys can obviously learn from right here. So I need to shield. We know this is superpower. It's superpower from a mile away. It's going to do a lot of damage, and then we'll just farm down. Now, I blindly go for Cross Chop thinking Gallade's coming back in, but the opponent decides to bring in Beedrill. So I go for Cross Chop blindly. I could have gone for Rock Slide right there, because they're going to no-shield this right here. We could have just one-shot the Beedrill, but no, I'm going to go ahead and build up. We do see a swap now into Gallade, so I'm going to go ahead and go for a Cross Chop right here to do some chip damage, and then we're going to swap into Lanturn and try to farm down. A Leaf Blade is going to be coming through, which is going to hurt, but I think I might be able to commit to the farm down right here, or at least force a shield. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw it, because they're one fast move away now from another Leaf Blade, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Thunderbolt. We do get this shield, so things are actually looking good. I know Gallade is going to do a lot of damage with Confusion, but because of that Psychic typing, they're going to resist counter, which means I might be able to get enough energy right here from... Nope, I don't have enough energy. Oh, this is going to be close. One fast move away right there. So good game to my opponent. I made a mistake. I should have waited to see what was coming in, because I could have gotten away with Rock Sliding that Beedrill and one-shotting it. Really good battle. All right, moving into this next battle. We have Lanturn on the lead versus Castform. Very positive lead for us. We will see them swap out, and they swap out into a Whiscash, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and bring in this Drifblim right here. Reason being, I think they might have a potential water in the back, maybe like an Empoleon or something, or Jellicent. So I want to keep Drifblim away from that. And we're going to go ahead and let this Blizzard go through. It hurts. Boom. It hurts, but we can come in and load up with Machamp, because I think having energy on Machamp is going to be very positive for me in order to win this matchup. So I will let this charge move go through as well. It is going to be a Mud Bomb. It is going to hurt, but I need shields for Lanturn, because I think it can core break the team, considering Whiscash might have been their only answer right there. So we will probably see the Castform come back in, and we'll have to see what it's going to be. It's going to be a Mandibuzz. You guys can already see that Lanturn right here is going to be a fantastic core break. So we're going to go ahead and just go for this Rock Slide. We get a shield. We swap into Lanturn. This is basically going to be a GG. This is also an Air Slash Mandibuzz, which means it's going to be resisted because of our electric typing. And the foul plays are Dark Pulse, which it is going to be foul play. Isn't going to do too much damage to us. Now they do make a really nice sack swap right here on my Thunderbolt. So good catch by them, but ultimately we're still looking very, very strong. We still have Machamp, and I can get to another Thunderbolt in time right here, as well as Catz form. In order to threaten me, it has to build up to a Solar Beam, which it will not have enough time to do unless it shields, which it doesn't, which means this charge move right here is just going to be a Fire Weather Ball, which I resist, so I'll go ahead and let this go. We can save shields and basically win this game with Lanturn and Machamp. So we'll go ahead and farm down. And then Lanturn can come in, and we do see the Mandibuzz come back in and just go for Thunderbolts right here. And that's basically going to be a good game. So again, Lanturn breaking apart a lot of cores. There was a Whiscash, but we were able to handle it by just debuffing it and then letting Machamp farm up for a ton of energy to put pressure on shields. We will be able to get to another Thunderbolt in time. This Mandibuzz does not have enough damage output in order to farm down my Lanturn right here. So that is going to be a good game. I can safely shield right here. And we still have 2 shields. We have 1 shield now. And fast move down. And good game to my opponent. But again, Lanturn's pretty tough to handle when a lot of your team is weak to it. Which is why I decided to run it this morning. Alright, so last game we got Lanturn versus Dewgong. Again, another lead win. I had a lot of lead wins today. We do see a swap into Drifblim right here. So I really can't swap into anything safely, right? Because the Drifblim mirror, they're ahead on energy, which is bad. And Machamp obviously doesn't like that matchup. So we're going to go ahead and stay in with Lanturn because I do have Machamp as my own answer to Dewgong. Now, we're also going to let this charge move go through. It could be Shadow Ball, which it is, but we can survive it, which is perfectly fine. What I'm looking to do is get all the shields away from our opponent. Now, this was also a bit quick, so I think it's just going to be Icy Wind, so I let it go, which it is Icy Wind, and now we can go for Thunderbolt right here. This should be taking out the Drifblim. If they decide to let it go, even though we have the debuff, which it does, so we take it out. We do see the Dewgong come back in, and I'm hoping I can get to a Thunderbolt in time, which I do. That's beautiful. This is a lot of chip damage right here for super effective, which is nice. Even though we're debuffed, that's a huge amount of damage. Now, they did farm us down, which I'm fine with because I have shields with Shadow Machamp. So I can easily shield this right here. We know it doesn't KO like we saw earlier, but still, it's going to be a lot of damage, and we'll have to see what that final Pokemon is going to be. It's going to be a Mandibuzz. So we are just going to go ahead and go for Rock Slide right here. This is going to be doing super effective damage, but we are debuffed as well, so they may not shield it. They decide to shield, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Drifblim. We're going to lose this matchup, right? Mandibuzz into Drifblim is a bad matchup. But what I'm looking to do is this Mandibuzz is locked in, right? It can't one-shot us, which means I can at least get to 1 Icy Wind, which is going to do super effective damage and debuff the Mandibuzz, which is going to allow our Machamp to come in and load up on energy. So we're going to save shields for Machamp right here. They decided to throw their energy right away, so they may have 1 fast move of energy right now, but things are looking very, very good for us. We're going to go ahead and go for the Cross Chop right here, which is going to be doing neutral, and because we cleared our debuff, we have normal attack as well, but they survive with 1 HP. And this is the decision, or they decided to swap into Dewgong, trying to get off the Icy Wind, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and shield and take out Mandibuzz. So again, Machamp and Lanturn breaking apart a lot of cores, which is really, really nice. So if I let Lanturn go down, Machamp can usually close out for me. And that was the good battles this morning. Again, you guys know I typically lose a lead a lot, and I show you guys how to overcome lead losses, but honestly, this morning, I had a ton of lead. I think 20 out of my 25 battles were lead wins. So yeah, it was a very strong run this morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Go Fest is this weekend, so I wish you guys all the best. Have a great event. Be safe. I hope you guys get all the shinies that you want, the good PvP IVs, and everything. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.